Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Demi's vlog, and we started the week off with a incline bench for max effort. He did pretty good with that, happy with it. Right now our supplemental work for upper body, we're just trying to get him thick, right? We've noted before that upper body lags behind, lower a little bit for him, so I always keep the volume a little higher. We do a lot of extra back work, a lot of tricep work, things like that, and he's noticed a difference. He said even his coworkers have noticed. So we're in a good place. We're just seeing some nice, slow, steady gains. The other thing to keep in mind is that he's very tall. And so when we talk about body weight, weight classes, things like that, weight gain, you have to factor in the individual matters here. Okay, so much of the info that we have out there is actually for average height around the world. So when we're talking about gains and stuff in a larger context, how tall is the average male around the world? They're not even the average height in America. America, it's like 5'9" to 5'10". All right, that is our average. Worldwide, it's actually lower than that. So yeah, we're going to see different data, as far as how much muscle, how much weight, and things people can gain. For someone who's up well over 6 foot, such as he is, and he actually comes from a fairly tall country, where he lives, and so accordingly, it's going to be a little bit different. So yeah, his weight classes in the long term, he may end up being 125, 130 kg. And may end up eventually being leaner than he is now in that sort of weight class, given enough time. So yeah, we're always focused on filling that frame out, getting him bigger, right? And if he wants to get real lean later, we can always diet down. So again, a lot of hypertrophy work there. All right, deficit deadlifts for max effort lower this week. It was a little grindy. He said it felt heavy. Deadlifts have been slow. He's hit a lot of squat, a lot of bench PRs. The deadlifts have come along slow. And that's one of the things I've told him. That's his strong area. That's where he's gifted. He already had a very substantial base there. And so as we get thicker, the deadlift, it may not go up very quickly relative to the other lifts because we have him gaining weight, getting bigger, all this other stuff. And believe it or not, that carries over less to the deadlift than people realize it does. Right? In terms of relative body weight, deadlifts do not scale the same way. And I think that's very apparent when you look at records around the world and you start seeing that some of the best deadlifts in the world, like true raw deadlifts, are not by the heaviest guys, whereas in squatting and benching are. And there's a lot of reasons for that. There's this stuff I've discussed in detail in videos as to the leverages and things as to why. Right? And people are not always aware of that. And I'll briefly cover part of that. In short, any weight gain will help your bench and squat. Body fat can actually improve the bench and the squat. Body fat hurts you on the deadlift. In other words, if right now, if I were to take every one of you, no changes in muscle mass, and we were to just wave a magic wand and put 20 kilogram of body fat on you, okay? You know that most of your squats and your bench presses would go up, and your deadlift would probably go down. Okay? So just be aware of those things. So, as we're bulking and gaining weight, you're going to tend to see the other two lifts climb at a much better rate than the deadlift. All right, for accessory work, we're doing Romanian deadlifts right now. We're doing belt squats. We're doing reverse hypers. I have him do some rows and stuff still on some of those days. I'm trying to give him a lot of back work. Always trying to keep that back growing. But his other stuff, because he pulls fairly heavy, pulls pretty heavy, and then I'm having him do things like Romanian deadlifts as an accessory movement. Other stuff, we tend to pick exercises that don't load his spine as much, so the belt squats or reverse hypers, things like that. All right, dynamic effort upper, we do speed bench, pretty straightforward. We rotate 3 reps, 9 triples. Then we go over and work on incline bench. Okay? Again, trying to pick good exercises that just fill his upper body out. So we'll do a lot of incline benching, a lot of tricep work, a lot of rowing. I'll eventually When he gets strong enough, we'll start incorporating pull-ups and things eventually as he gets stronger, but rows work great. And I like rows, even though I love pull-ups for just overall thickness and getting bigger. And for athletes, I think in general, rowing really does a lot for your bench, right? Rowing can really do a lot for your bench. I personally feel like it does a lot for deadlifts also. In my experience, there can be a lot of carryover. Okay. So that being said, we do plenty of rowing. And again, as he gets stronger, we'll start working some pull-ups and stuff in later, as long as his shoulders and everything can handle it. But I have no trouble building lifters up on rows. Right? I have no trouble doing it, especially if we have a variety of tools. He's got barbells, he's got dumbbells. I can attack them from a few different angles, a couple different modalities. Right? Make it work. Make it work. Then, of course, I've got him doing some JM presses here. Which again, he responds well to. They've helped with his bench. He's seen good carryover on his bench. After we did a lot of phases of band work and other stuff to build his triceps, we did a lot of like floor skull crushers, so that we didn't have to get into those lengthened positions as much. All right, we did all those things. We got his tendons healthy. Now I have him do the JM presses, and they do a really good job for increasing bench strength for people who have tricep weaknesses, which is what we identified early. Right here he is doing speed boxes with a safety bar. And of course we do speed pulls, right? Speed conventional. I don't have him do any sumo pulling. Unlike some of my other kanji clients, he's just not built for it. I don't have him do it. I don't think it's necessary for a taller lifter. Not worried. Just straight conventional for him. A lot of my other lifters, it's 50-50 split. Right? Depends on what's going on with the lifter. Really tall guys like this, though, it feels like a waste. They just never get it down right anyways. Why bother? Just put them on conventional. We can rotate different types of conventional pulls for speed work. Then, of course, he does his RDLs, the belt squats, the reverse hypers, all of this stuff. Right? Since he has all this equipment, we use it. Right? We use it. It lets him get away with max deadlifting a little more often without worrying about the fatigue from it. So again, we use these tools. I know people would be like, you aren't using those tools at the moment that you have them. That's correct. But it doesn't mean they didn't help me and I didn't use them a lot on building up to where I am. And I think they have their place depending upon what's going on with the lifter. Right? So in his case, he's got them. He's invested in them. He has them available. We use those tools. Again, reduces axial loading, lets us get away with some other stuff if we want to. Right? It lets me get away with throwing in and having him do heavy Romanian deadlifts and whatever else we need. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.